think power is too often viewed through the negative lens of corruption. What about the power of a sunrise? Doesn't that act or produce an effect on not only us, but all the land, sea, sky, everywhere where its rays reach? It moves us to feel something, and it also signals the start of a new day, new opportunities. Where's the corruption in that? Maybe it's not power that leads to corruption, but how we use our power. Because we all have it. As Dominic Fike says, there's power in the words you whisper. Punches have power. The power to break a nose, the power to break a board, and simply the power to inspire awe at the speed with which someone can project one of their arms. Today we'll be learning the technique that with proper practice and a lot of speed can generate tremendous power. Let's get to it. And that power, that has some snap too, doesn't it? Let's appreciate that. Try it again. Okay. We'll start today with a review of the punch, breaking it down to its core components. Then we'll take a look at the idea of generating power through the two-handed concept. And finally, we'll learn a boxer's two favorite words, jab and cross. Before we can learn how to punch, we have to know how to make a fist. To me, this is always the funniest part of any class because, who hasn't made a fist before? Curl your fingers and tuck your thumb. The more important part here is knowing where to strike with your fist. I notice that when I make a fist naturally, my middle two or even last two knuckles are the ones leading the way of the punch. What I have to do is consciously make the decision to align the desired contact point, which here is going to be the first two knuckles, the largest ones and those with the most support behind them. I do this by adjusting my wrist here when I go to make the punch. Now that we have our fist and wrist set, let's follow the path of the punch from middle stance. As I project my arm forward, notice my elbow stays behind and below my punch. I'm not going to let my elbow flare outward and have my hand lead by itself. The elbow drives the punch outward. Also, notice that my palm starts face up and then finishes face down. Finally, with my middle stance facing forward here, notice that I'm punching towards the center line of my target right in front of me and my own center line, creating a triangle between my shoulders and my punch, still leading the way with those first two knuckles. Rarely will you do a technique with just one hand. In fact, I like to think of this as two techniques. Not only am I punching outward, but I also have an elbow coming back to my side. Now obviously I'm not focused on the elbow, but you get the idea here that I'm using more than just one hand. This is the two-handed concept. So what does this have to do with power? In the first episode I talked about doing Taekwondo from space, and I said your technique wouldn't look that great. And this is probably because you wouldn't be able to generate much power. But how could we generate any power from space? The answer to this lies in our core. To me, the core is like our rotational motor, generating power for us through its rotational energy. At the heart of the two-handed concept, or better yet, at the core, is the torque of our abdominal muscles. Okay, now let's practice. Right arm out in front, left hand by your side, curl those fingers, tuck your thumbs. Find your center line, find your knuckle alignment. Slowly switch those hands and feel your elbow driving forward on one side and pulling back on the other side. Switching them again, and again, and again. Okay, now let's go full speed. On my key up, one punch, yell with me. Ready? And hiya! 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 promised, the jab and cross, a boxer's two favorite words. To start, let's find our